be making a YouTube again. October 7. Our version of 9/11. My name is Mansur, and I'm an Israeli Arab, a Druze. But that's a tiny, mini minority. You probably never heard them before. So I quit my job and started a whole new journey. Talking about a scary move, a leap of faith. Let me tell you all about it as I drive to my studio through the German cold winter. Gosh, I miss Israel. One day I'm in Alaska, sailing to Hawaii, and the next day I'm in Texas, at Amir's place, another proud Arab Israeli friend, waking up at October 7th morning, videos and messages on my phone of Hamas and Gazan people murdering and beheading Jews, Christian, Arabs, Israelis, raping girls, kidnapping families and children and babies and taking them to Gaza. You know, life have a way sometimes of just reminding you how a reality can change so fast. Just crashed my drone again. Oh man. Motor stuck. Just hate when that happens. And I'm jobless now, so it's not a good idea to crash my drone. I can't really afford buying a new drone.
Has been updated. Please check it on the map.
Man, these DJIs are crazy. I literally just crashed it and it's still fine. Okay, let's try this again, only without crashing this time. Okay, still working. Alright, so flying a drone while riding a bicycle is probably not a very recommended move. However, it's super cool. It's super cool. This is the road that I need to make every day to my studio, and cave is coming ahead. Yeah, best don't try this at home. Just like Jessica once asked me, how did I not fall in the river yet? Good question. Well, I don't really want to waste money on buying new drones while I'm not making any money. That makes sense, right? Alright, lesson learned. Be more careful with your drones. In general, don't try to do what I'm doing. Don't fly a drone, film yourself with a DSLR camera while riding a bike next to a river. Just, and if you do it and you fall in the river, don't say I didn't warn you. Finally at the studio. So 2024. Let's talk about some New Year's resolution. Let's do some art. You know, I'll usually call it New Year's resolution, but I'm gonna call this one October 7 resolution. And I want to talk about the main lessons that I've learned from this whole tragic event. Number one is stand up to bullies. There were never a time in my life that I've had to stand up on a daily basis to bullies. Since I started standing against racism, against antiSemitism, against Nazism, I've been receiving so much hate, so much threats of violence, threat of being cancelled by so many keyboard bullies and probably real life bullies. And I tell you something, it just made me want to speak more. It just made me realize that what I'm doing is right and that you should stand up to bullies. If there was ever a time where it was so important to not shy and remain silent in the face of wickedness, now is that time. Stand up to bullies. That's the right thing to do. Protect the little guy. Nazism and anti-Semitism, not cool. Boy, did I ever imagine in my wildest dreams that I would have to say that. I think one of the things that shocked us the most on October 7th, other than the hideous crimes of Hamas, was waking up to a world that is full of hate, anti-Semitism, and just preaching Nazi ideology in broad daylight. You see, these things were always there. That's a given. We had the Holocaust, we had World War II. Nazism, anti-Semitism, anti-Israel, anti-Jews, anti-Zionism. You can give it any name you want, it's the same thing. However, it used to be something that you were ashamed to expose in public. No one wanted to go in public and say, hey guys, my name is John, I'm an anti-Semit. Or, hey girls, my name is Samantha and I'm a Nazi. That was not something that you said it out loud. We woke up into a world where students in universities, mostly in the US, but also in Europe, and people just in the streets walking in broad daylight, calling for a genocide of the Jews for the from the river to the sea and all kind of crazy stuff. Intifada, revolution. You guys even know what Intifada means? Trust me, I'm an Arab from the Middle East, and ask any Middle Eastern, Arab, Jew, Christian, doesn't matter. What comes to mind when we hear the word Intifada? You'll be shocked. Suicide bombing, bus bombing, car bombing, lynching of innocent people, riots, burning cars, looting, destroying, burning anything that comes in their way, shops, cars, houses, violent demonstrations, shooting police officers, killing innocent people, kidnapping people. This is what Intifada means, and somehow we woke up into a world that is just chanting that. People just saying Hitler was right. People walking in their thousands, demonstrating in the street, calling for the genocide of the Jewish people, justifying the hideous crimes of Hamas, raping, murdering, beheading people in public. You see, Hamas didn't kill only Jews. They killed Jews, Christians, Muslims, Arabs, you name it. There's people in the world that up until today are justifying them. And these people live in your neighborhood, they live in your towns. So Nazis / anti-Semites, not cool. And it should come from us to expose them and to call them out on that, because if we don't, it's gonna become bigger. Silent majority, not cool. You see, when I hear the word silent majority, I hear cowards. And I don't wanna be a coward. So my question is, during the Holocaust, many people know about what's happening, but they remain the silent majority. As we speak right now in the Muslim world, there is millions of Muslims who are just being the silent majority. They know the crime that people are doing in the name of Islam. They know of hundreds of thousands of Muslims, women, children, babies who are being killed by Muslims, but they just remain the silent majority. And when do they speak? When it's against the West. Now you see, that's the Muslim silent majority. It saddens me to say, but that's their problem. If they don't wake up and start criticizing themselves, they're gonna bear the fruit, because they're gonna make themselves linked with Nazi ideology, and the West is probably gonna spit that out if they wake up in time. We on the West, the ones who love democracy, the one who love freedom, who appreciate human rights, if we stay silent, there is a quote that I've read once, and it was a quote of a British philosopher by the name of Edmund Burke, and he said, "The only thing needed for the triumph of evil is good men to do nothing." So if you are the silent majority, you are part of the problem, because you are allowing evil to win. And when our children will grow in a Jew-hating world, in a world that promotes racism, Nazi ideology, you don't want to be remembered as a silent majority. Number 4, don't crash your drone. Wow, if I got money for every time I crashed my drone, I could have probably bought myself a whole set of drones right now. You see, that's probably something more personal for me. I've crashed way too many drones. If I break it, I need to be saving money right now. I shouldn't be wasting money. So yeah, I should stop crashing that. That's my New Year's resolution for 2024, okay? That's not on you. Number 5, and the most important one, spend more time with your family. See, after October 7th, I couldn't help of not thinking of the night before October 7th. For many of these families, the victims of that massacre, when they went to bed and they tucked their children and Maybe a husband had a fight with his wife. Maybe a mother forgot to tell her child that she loves him. Or maybe you promised your kid something and you didn't do that because you were too tired. And then the next morning Hamas broke to your house and murdered your entire family. Or kidnapped your children. And that just made me think of how precious is our life and how precious is our loved ones, our parents, our children, in my case, Raphael. And it made me realize that I want to spend more time with Raphael. So if sometimes I can't make as many videos as I want, and I love making videos, it's because I choose to spend my time with my kid. And not only that, I genuinely believe that the solution for peace in our times is education. Call me a dreamer, call it cheesy, but you see, I'm raising my kid to grow up to love your kid. I'm raising my kid so when he goes backpacking when he's 20 and he meets your child somewhere in the hostel, he wouldn't care if your kid is white or black. He wouldn't care if you're Asian or Middle Eastern. He would not care if you are a Muslim, a Jew, a Christian, a Buddhist, or someone that believes in the lizard man. Because I'm teaching my kid to love all humans as humans and to judge you by your character and by your actions. And I honestly believe that if we teach our kids, it takes one generation, to love life, not love death, to want to build, not want to destroy, to want to give, not want to steal, we will create a better world. Every one of these Hamas people that we saw, every one of these terrorists, at a certain point in his life, he was a little kid, just like me and you were. And all he wanted was the love of his parents and to play with other kids. And I can promise you, if you'll take a 4-year-old Gazan and a 4-year-old Israeli, a 4-year-old American, Chinese, Russian, doesn't matter what, and you put them in a room and you give them a toy, they're gonna play. They would not give any cow poop about your political views, about the religion of your parents. They would just not care. They will just want to play with each other. But somewhere along the road, something just terribly went wrong, and we ended up having wars, and we ended up having people chanting Allahu Akbar while they're beheading a foreign worker. People chanting Allahu Akbar while they're kidnapping an African exchange student who came to study agriculture in Israel. People chanting Allahu Akbar while they're shooting a Muslim pregnant woman, a mother of 9, that was a teacher of the Quran. Is that in your Quran? Is that what you're teaching your kids that they should do in life? No one is born a Nazi. No one is born anti-Semite. No one is born racist. It's something that they're learning from their parents. And it is our job as parents to teach them otherwise. And it's our job as parents to call out the parents who are teaching otherwise and to hold them accountable, because it is a crime. The world should be raging about the crime that is happening in Gaza, in Palestine, with the education of children. When you teach your kids to want to become suicide bombers, to want to become shaheeds, to want to become martyrs, you are a criminal and you are ruining these kids' life, because they're going to grow up to be terrorists or someone who supports terrorism, which October 7th showed us that the world is full of them. 10, 9,